Hi, and welcome to the presentation on Hollywood bargaining for negotiation strategies. We are Rodi.
Hi.
Sietse. Hi. Sanne.
Hi.
And Steven.
We're now going to present to you the movie clip of The Wedding Crashers. In the beginning of the movie, it starts with a lot of negative arguments. However, this is a special type of negotiation where mediators are present. The mediators try to rescue the case by coming up with a joint goal for both of the ex-couple, namely getting the divorce settled. Therefore, they focus on the bright future the couple can have without each other and moving on with their lives. And eventually, the negotiation turns towards a more integrative negotiation. We can now look at the movie of the negotiation.
About that. I am sick of you accused of not being a good mother.
Big
7
home?
years I've been
There's
a good mother. Just remember when we went out. Just remember how you upturn a bench.
Where is
Don't you
Tim
fucking
right
talk about
fucking
me
now?
being a mother. I hate you.
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you just kiss my left nut?
I told you this was a bad idea.
You know what, Ken? The bad idea would be to let your client walk out of here today and drag this thing out for another year, wasting more time and wasting more money. The only good idea is to let me and John do our job and mediate this thing right here.
You want to hear the crazy thing? I know it doesn't feel like it, but we're making progress. We settled the deal with the cars. Let's see, that takes us to frequent flyer miles. We're flying.
Those are
I
mine.
want them.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to split them right down the middle. How'd that be, Mr. Kroger?
It would be not good at all. I earned those miles.
Yeah, you earned them flying to Denver to meet your whore.
Oh, Lord.
Well, she's not afraid to express herself sexually, if that's what you mean.
She's a stripper, for God's sake.
She is not.
Her name is Chastity. She is white trash. Same as you. Hillbilly.
That's it. Go comatose for me, baby.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Hold it. This is getting confusing. You didn't always hate each other. There had to be some nice moments during the courtship, maybe? Or the wedding?
The wedding had to be fun.
You get the
have your families
decorations,
together.
families coming together. That's a nice moment. What'd you have to eat?
Crab cakes.
Are you kidding me? Crab cakes? How could you not have a good
I love
time eating crab cakes? I love them.
And
They're
you got
phenomenal.
a band? Did you have a band?
Yeah.
Good or bad?
Who gives a shit? It's a great band. It's a bad band. It's like pizza, baby. It's good no matter what. There's music in the air.
Shout, and
Yeah.
hate it. A little bit
Hey, shout now. Jump up and shout now. It's a good time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rubbing up against each other. Just a couple of kids who like to fuck trying to make it honest. I get it. Guys, the real enemy here is the institution of marriage. It's not realistic. It's crazy. And don't do this for the other person. It's about saying yes to yourself and saying yes to your future.
Say yes.
And have some opportunities for yourself. I'm sure you'd love to be free. Maybe go out and meet some Latin guy that can dance, grind up on you, make it feel dangerous, but also safe. And how about you? Don't you want to get inside Chastity without having to wonder if anyone's going to find out?
God, wouldn't that be sweet?
Wouldn't that be nice? And have some Latin guy sweating all over you, talking to you in languages you don't understand, needing you, wanting you, taking you?
All we're trying to say is, put your swords away for a second. Let's finish this, and let's move on.
Get out there and get some strange ass.
Could you give her a glass of water so she can take that?
Hey, John, that's weird. That glass looks half full to me.
Wow. Now that you mention it, it is half full.
You can have the miles.
Sweetie, you take the miles.
Great. Great. Let's sign the paperwork and we are done.
This is just semantics. If you guys want to throw a couple miles at us, we'll take a couple. The big thing is that we're all moving on.
As we could have seen in the video clip, two important points arise which we will now discuss in turn. Firstly, the presence of the mediators, and then presence of emotions. With the mediation, the divorcing couple is fighting, and the mediators suggest to split the air miles in two. However, the couple disagrees, and they are using distributive strategies and wanting all the air miles for themselves. The mediators start their work with finding common ground, saying that the couple has the same ending goal, finishing the settlement and moving on with their lives. Also, they say that they start talking about the couple's wedding day and what happened during that day, so they focus on positive emotions. Afterwards, they go back to the joint ending goal of being free, and this calms this divorcing couple down, and they start making concessions. We also saw many emotions in the video clip, with the most prominent one being anger. Goldman states that emotions are simply impulses to act. In a large part of the movie clip, the couple displayed anger, which makes the negotiation more difficult. A person becomes angry because he or she feels vulnerable and exposed. As both parties in the clip want the same thing, this makes them very vulnerable and exposed. Anger can arise in this dyadic negotiations when a couple perceives the situation as a win-lose situation, with diverging goals between the parties. Obviously, the couple is not willing to work on their relationship. However, in the end, they both realize that being positive towards each other will help both of them.
Now for the discussion, we'll start with the gender differences in negotiations. In the video clip, there is obviously a clear difference in gender. Both the male and the female take on different stances and use different negotiation strategies. Previous research by Kimmel reports that women are less likely to use distributive bargaining tactics, they speak less during a negotiation, and are more likely to doubt themselves. Furthermore, Vinak reported that women find it more important to maintain personal relationships during negotiations, and also that everything happens in a fair manner. On the other hand, men are more likely to exert power through, for example, the expression of tone of voice and body language and strive for maximum profit. They have no problem using distributive bargaining tactics. Additionally, men tend to use more legalistic arguments that are based on principles of law and customary practice. Women tend to use more relational arguments based on interpersonal responsibility to a relationship. If we would apply these findings to the Wedding Crashers movie clip, it can be seen that, regarding the female findings, the previous studies do actually not apply. The woman in the clip displays the same assertive behavior as the male actor by using distributive bargaining tactics. For example, that she says, "I want the air miles." She's also speaking the same amount of time and she does not seem to doubt herself. It is only until the mediators have done their job and the male actor has requested for her to be given a glass of water that she gives in and proposes a settlement. As for the male actor, it can be said that his behavior is in line with the aforementioned research, by exerting power and striving for maximum profit. Nevertheless, after the mediators have spoken, he is the first one to alter his behavior, by asking the mediator to give his ex-wife a glass of water, which can actually be seen as a form of integrative bargaining instead of his distributive bargaining strategy in the beginning.
Now we will discuss the use of mediators in this video. As pointed out by Whistler, mediation is more effective when the parties are highly motivated to reach a settlement. In this case, it concerns a divorce settlement, thus it seems highly likely that involving a mediator has been a good choice. Furthermore, as you can see in the beginning of the movie, the conflict intensity is very high, which makes it wise to use an active mediator strategy. This is because such intervention gives both parties the chance to make concessions without loss of face, keeping their feeling of strength, and because the cause of concessions can be attributed to the mediator. Researchers call this the face-saving function of mediation. You can clearly see in the movie that this is what happens. The divorcing couple listens to the mediator, and after finding common ground and a joint goal, they start making concessions. They do not lose face by making those concessions, as the mediators provided them with reasons to make them. Carnival developed a strategic choice model with two variables that can predict mediator behavior. You can see the model in the slides. The first variable is the mediator's estimate of the likelihood of having a win-win agreement. The second is the mediator's level of concern that both parties reach a good outcome. In this movie, the mediators clearly use the integration strategy. They are highly concerned about a good outcome for both parties, and as they easily come up with common ground for both parties, they believe in a possible win-win situation. Therefore, we can conclude that it has been a wise decision to involve a mediator in this case.
Emotions. There are occasions when anger, legitimately expressed, can play a positive role in producing an agreement. For example, when it helps to persuade others because it demonstrates intensity and sincerity of a position. On the other hand, this emotion often injects a sour note into the proceeding, impeding agreement. Anger does so in at least three ways. It clouds our objectivity because we lose trust in the other side. It narrows our focus from broader topics to the anger-producing behavior. And it misdirects our goals from reaching agreement to retaliating against the offender. The negotiation would have gone more smoothly if the couple had controlled their anger. According to Adler, Rosen and Silverstein, one should control their anger following the steps below. Be self-aware, determine situations that trigger inappropriate anger, decide whether to display anger, express anger and disappointment effectively, avoid negotiation bias, and try to promote trust. The couple could also take into account the other's anger in order to improve the negotiation. Adler, Rosen and Silverstein proposed several steps to deal with others' anger. First, diffuse heated emotional build-ups. Then, assess the significance of anger displays. Address an opponent's anger. Help an angry opponent save face. And finally, involve a mediator when you anticipate anger. Finally, we have the conclusion. To conclude, we can say that although the negotiations started very badly, the mediators did their job well, and thus in the end the issue of the flying miles could be resolved. The ex-couple was able to control their emotions and look ahead to their joint goal of finalizing the divorce. Following the theories we mentioned, we can say that the video clip did not describe gender differences that arise during negotiation in a way matching previous research. The strategy of the mediators did match with previous studies, as the mediators were able to save face of the ex-couple, through which it became easier for the ex-couple to make concessions. Seeing how the negotiation started, with the ex-couple using distributive bargaining strategies, we can conclude that it has been wise to involve mediators, as the negotiation turned out to become more integrative towards the end. Concerning the emotions used, we can conclude that when having a divorce settlement negotiation, one comes to a better agreement when using positive emotions, leading to integrative strategies. Anger should be avoided if possible, since eventually they want to have the divorce. Therefore, lots of concessions have to be made. However, some issues are more important to the male than to the female, for example. Therefore, they should apply a log rolling strategy, prioritizing their own issues and making concessions on the items that are not the most important for them, but are important for the other party.
So this was our presentation. Thank you for watching, and we hope you learned something from it. Certainly we did.
Sure we did.